next question. Water Sundown. Many say that Bobby Heenan or Paul Heyman are the number one, I'm presuming manager, but they didn't put manager in, which is unquestioned, I would say. But is Paul Bearer underrated in that term? He was almost as great as Heyman, I would say.
Yes, different style. Totally different style. I mean, Paul could only do that one type of interview with The Undertaker, with the high-pitched voice, and he may be underrated in your book. He's probably not as high up in my category as he is yours. But I would say that Jimmy Hart is in those top managers too, and Cornette. If you're going to put Undertaker, I think Paul Bearer was beneath those four because he was with The Undertaker. Of course, The Undertaker took precedence in any introduction, and they never really included Paul in any finishes other than to hand take or something, or just to be there. And he was a mouthpiece, is all that he was. So I don't know what credentials or criteria you're using to rate him over Heyman and
Heenan.
And Bobby Heenan. I'll get it right in a minute. Give me a couple of weeks. But those guys could talk. Heenan would probably be him and Cornette as far as talking. I think they're 1 and 2. And then I think Paul Heyman underneath that, and Jimmy Hart. Mm-hmm. I mean, anybody that can overlook these guys' achievements in the wrestling profession, I don't think they're can be counted on to give any opinion.
Did you ever see Paul Bearer when he was Percy Pringle?
Yes, I booked him.
Oh, did you really?
I booked him in Florida. I think his name was Percy Pringle. I booked in Florida in 1980, late 84. And that's where I left Memphis to go book the Florida territory because Dusty, and I brought this up on this show before, Dusty had left and took everybody. Anybody that was anybody, he took them. He took Barry Windham, and he took, Magnum TA, and he took, several more. But when I got to Florida, it was gutted. I might as well brought an independent crew in there and started all over. So Michael Hayes came in to help me with the book because he brought the Freebirds with him, and they were a hot team then. But he knew this manager from Louisiana named Percy Pringle. And, of course, his claim to fame was he's the heir to the Pringle potato chip dynasty. That was what it was. And so I brought him in there and started him. And he did a good job there. He did a great job. So how he got picked to be Paul Bearer, I'm not sure of that.
I can tell you is that he was, someone recommended him, and then he was actually an honest-to-goodness licensed mortician as well.
Yeah, he was.
So he was like, so when Vince McMahon heard that, I was like, gee, well, it's made to be. I believe when he was Percy Pringle as well, I think Paul has said this himself, is that, listen, I was an unabashed rip-off of Bobby Heenan.
Mm-hmm. Well, he tried, but I don't think nobody could beat Bobby Heenan. No. Bobby Heenan had so much bullshit about him. He was so entertaining just to talk to in the dressing room. And remember last week when I said that Jimmy Hart had, I may have said this week, I don't know, he was always up.
This was this week, yeah.
Oh, it was this week. Okay, so I get it confused. But he would talk in the dressing room like he talked out there on camera. That was Bobby Heenan. So if you sat down with him, say you went to a restaurant and you started talking to him, he'd just start talking the same way he would on TV. Not as loud, of course, but he was entertaining whether he was on TV or not. So I don't think Paul Bearer was ever that entertaining just talking to him, but he was good. But I think Heenan and Cornette and Jimmy Hart, they're 1, 2, and 3 in that. I even shoot Heyman down a notch.
Mm-hmm. I've got to ask this as well, and I can't remember if I've asked you this before, is one of the things that Paul Bearer was famous for bringing to the attention of the wider public was Undertaker's fear of cucumbers. Did you know this at the time?
Nope. I still don't know it now. Well, he was afraid of cucumbers?
They used to like put him in his gloves and in his boots and slip a slice of cucumber in his drink occasionally and watch him throw up.
Oh, God.
I hate cucumbers, but man, I mean...
You hate cucumbers, too?
I can't stand cucumbers. They're disgusting. It's tortoise food.
How do you eat pickles?
With, just like, lovely. Cucumbers,
you like
I
pickles?
can't stand cucumbers. They taste of nothing. They taste of water and a bit of grass. It's disgusting. I don't like them.
Well, I didn't know that.
Well, there you go.
At all.
Everybody knows, something about me and the Undertaker. We both hate cucumbers.